word, and do I have a spreadsheet for this? Yes, I do. Hey y'all! If you're like me, and you procrastinate making your TBR for readathons until literally the night before, I got you. If you don't know, I am co-hosting the Swiftathon with Anna from Slytherin Reader, Maya from Macetify, and Charlotte from @WildestDaylight on Twitter. And the Swiftathon is a month-long readathon starting tomorrow, January 13th, until February 13th, and all the prompts are inspired by Taylor Swift's most recent album, Lover. And I'm super stoked for this. And so for this video, I'm going to be recommending you a couple of books that I adore and that will fulfill multiple prompts for the readathon. So there are a few prompts for the readathon that are very personal, so I'm just going to go through them. I think that'd be easier than explaining what I just said. So for example, I Forgot That You Existed is to read a book that's been on your TBR for ages. Cornelia Street, a book you've been putting off reading because you're afraid to let go. Afterglow, which is give a book or an author a second chance. Me is just pick a book, literally any book. And Daylight is to reread a favorite. So I can't really recommend you anything for these prompts, but they are there, and yeah, I don't know what I'm saying now. This is fine. We're just gonna keep all this mumbling garbage in. You know what? Yeah, that's fine. If you watch my videos, you will not be at all surprised by any of these recommendations, so just a heads up. The first book I'm recommending, I'm not going to spend too long on because Charlotte has already recommended it on Instagram, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This book has been one of my favorites of 2019, and it is about the first son of the United States and the second Crown Prince of England, and essentially they have a very public altercation after a years-long feud, and the two families are like, guys, you can't ruin PR and cause international relations issues like this. Please just pretend to be friends. And then secret friendship becomes real friendship, becomes secret romance, and it's so good, and I love it so much. Oh my god. Also, I am Alex. I will be using my phone for a lot of this video just because there are 18 songs and 18 prompts and I'm not memorizing all 18. So Red, White, and Royal Blue would fulfill Lover for a contemporary romance, You Need to Calm Down for a book with LGBTQ+ themes, and False God for a book with sexy, smutty scenes. And this book does not have like full out smut, it's like describing the lead up to and then fade to black kind of smut scenes. So heads up for fulfilling False God if you want to. This is not like super explicit. The next book I'm recommending is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, which is a fantasy novel in which 6 teenagers are offered money beyond their wildest dreams to go and break a scientist out of an impenetrable prison. And essentially it is a character-driven fantasy heist novel that is, oh, I just love it so much. It is very, like, if you are someone who loves character-driven books, Six of Crows is amazing. And so Six of Crows would work for The Man, for a feminist or strong female character, The Archer, which is a high or epic fantasy. I'm saying it's a slow burn. This romance is not the focus of it, but I argue that it is a slow burn, so I think he knows, slow burn. For Paper Rings, Friends to Lovers, and for Nice to Have a Friend, a book about friendship. This book, again, there are no surprises on this list. I am recommending The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and this is a book that is essentially a retelling of the Iliad by Homer, and its entire premise is, essentially, Homer never explicitly said that Achilles and Patroclus were in a relationship, but he also certainly never discouraged that idea. So this is like the gay YA Iliad. So The Song of Achilles would work for Cruel Summer, a summertime book, which this book happens over multiple years, and there are summers in those years, so I'm saying it counts. For The Archer, which is a high or epic fantasy, for I Think He Knows, just a slow burn. I argue that it's a slow burn. For Paper Rings, Friends to Lovers, it would work for You Need to Calm Down, which is a book with LGBTQ+ themes, and I think that is it. Another book I loved in 2019, and is probably my favorite book with Asian rep I've ever read, is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This book features Frank Lee, whose parents are very traditional and want him to date a Korean girl because he is Korean, but he has fallen for a white girl. And so he and one of his family friends, Joy, decide that they are going to fake date each other so that they can go on and date their respective partners who are both not Korean. It's such a fun book, but also it's very, very representative of what like an Asian immigrant experience is, and I loved reading it. I could relate to it so much. Frankly in Love would work for Lover, a contemporary romance, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, which takes place in school, and Paper Rings, Friends to Lovers. An argument could be made for Death by a Thousand Cuts, which is a breakup book, but the breakup is not like a main feature of the book. Books about fandoms will always have a special place in my heart, and this next book is certainly one of those, which is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. So this could work for Cruel Summer, a summertime book. Again, this book takes place over multiple years, so there are summers in those years, and I'm saying it counts. For The Man, a feminist or strong female character. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, a book that takes place in school. And You Need to Calm Down, a book with LGBTQ+ themes. And also Nice to Have a Friend, a book about friendship. If you're looking for a graphic novel for this readathon, I absolutely adored The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This is such a cute graphic novel, both in art style and story, and it's about a prince who loves to wear dresses. And so he hires a dressmaker to make dresses for him in secret, and he goes out at night as Lady Crystalia. And it's a book about being yourself, it's a book about friendship and love, and I love it so much. So, The Prince and the Dressmaker would work for Lover, a contemporary romance. For The Man, which is a feminist or strong female character, which I argue this book contains because she stands up for herself and all that jazz. I Think He Knows, which is Slow Burn, Paper Rings, Friends to Lovers, and Nice to Have a Friend, a book about friendship. I read this book for the first time when I was 10, and I still love it to this day, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This book would work for The Man, a feminist or strong female character. Actually, Jane Austen books don't even pass the reverse Bechdel test, so it's fantastic. For I Think He Knows, Slow Burn, London Boy takes place in the UK, and an argument could be made for Nice to Have a Friend, a book about friendship, which I do think it has a lot of elements of friendship, but I think it's more focused on family. However, an argument could be made. Another book I read ages ago and then reread again and still really enjoyed is Angel Fall by Susan E. This would work for The Man, a feminist or strong female character, I Think He Knows, which is Slow Burn, and Soon You'll Get Better, which is a sad book, which I was devastated by it, but it is also a personal thing to you, but I was devastated. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe is such a classic queer own voices book to recommend, and I am definitely doing that because it is such a good book. It's not so much about a romance as it is about discovering who you are and friendship, and it represents long-distance friendship and immigrant identity so well. And so this book would work for Cruel Summer, a summertime book, again, takes place over many years, for Lover, a contemporary romance, for I Think He Knows, which is a slow burn, for Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, takes place in school. The whole book does not take place in school, however, there are scenes in school, so I vote that it counts. This works for Paper Rings, which is Friends to Lovers, for You Need to Calm Down, which is a book with LGBTQ+ themes, and Nice to Have a Friend, a book about friendship. Autobiography by Christina Lauren is such a good book. It is just gay angst with happy ending and religious themes. Oh man, maybe I should just describe books with like AO3 tags. I feel like that'd make things a lot clearer. But it is so good. And I don't remember anyone's names at this point because I read it like a year ago, but essentially it's about a bisexual boy whose family has just moved to a very Mormon-based town, and he's not out here, but he signs up for a writing class, and the writing class has a hot TA. But the TA is like the pastor's son, and so when they eventually start, you know, being together, they have to deal with whether they want to keep this in secret and how to deal with being queer and religious in this very religious town. Autobiography would work for Lover, a contemporary romance. I Think He Knows, which is a slow burn. Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince takes place in school. Paper Rings, Friends to Lovers. Soon You'll Get Better, which is a sad book, which, again, I was devastated, but to each their own. And You Need to Calm Down, which is a book with LGBTQ plus themes. I feel like maybe I should have just stopped saying what each prompt was, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. So those are a bunch of recommendations I have for you for the Swiftathon. I will leave all the information about the readathon down below, as well as all my co-hosts. I'm so excited for this next month. And we are on Twitter and Instagram at Swiftathon13 if you would like to join us there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you sometime. Goodbye.